Hi, this is Braden Holtby.
Hey, this is Tanner the Bulldozer Bozer.
Hi, this is Brian Burke from Toronto, Ontario.
This is Daryl Sutter.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carly Agro from Sportsnet Central.
This is Jay Onright.
This is Quick Dick coming to you from Tofnell, Saskatchewan.
Hey, everybody. My name is Theo Fleury.
This is Kelly Rudy.
This is Corey Cross.
This is Wade Redden.
This is Jordan Tutu.
My name is Jim Pattison.
Hey, it's Ron McLean, Hockey Night in Canada and Rogers Hometown Hockey, and welcome to the Sean Newman Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. I hope all of you are having a great Friday. I promised a bonus episode this week with it being Mother's Day on Sunday. I sat down with Brandi Hofer and, we had a good old chat and she's got some great stories about her kids and everything else. And we just talked about some things. And I thought, for all the mothers that do so much for all of us, I thought this would be a nice treat leading into Mother's Day. I'm still convincing my mother to sit down and have a conversation. I'm hoping that'll happen here in the next couple days. I'm not sure if that'll be on the podcast or not. Well, I'll let her decide. But I thought for Mother's Day, I'd do an extra one, a bonus episode with Brandi Hofer. Shooting the shit, so to speak. Earmuffs to everyone. And, have a little bit of fun. One thing I want to mention is we got this May 13th. We're doing a pint and a slice of pizza at 4th Meridian. All the proceeds are going to Bike for Breakfast, which is an initiative we've started up to 10 of us, actually more like 12 of us. And we're biking from Lloyd to Tufnell on June 4th to June 6th, raising money for schools in the area. And if you're in Lloyd and want to come down for a pint of beer and a slice of pizza from Domino's, all proceeds are going to go to this. Bring your cash. It's $10. And if you bring your kids, they can have a bottle of water and a slice of pizza as well. All right. And so look forward to all your guys' support in moving into the next, in less than a month, we're biking. So happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day weekend to all you fine ladies who do so much for all of us. We're very much indebted to you. Now let's get on with the T-Bar 1 Tale of the Tape. Originally from Lloydminster, Alberta, she's an artist, entrepreneur, and podcaster. Her artwork has been featured across North America in international exhibits and even found its way to national television. Finally, she's a mother to 3 boys. So buckle up. Here we go.
What? This is why I do my intros and exits after I talk to the person, because I get super awkward. Like, hi, my name is Brandi Hofer. Welcome to the Sean Newman Podcast.
Hi, my name is Brandi Hofer. Welcome to the Sean
Thank
Newman
you.
Podcast.
This is what my Taylor does in all my video shoots now. Q. Hi, my name is Brandi Hofer, and welcome to the Sean Newman Podcast.
Try that one more time.
Hi, my name is Brandi Hofer, and welcome to the... See? This is why I have so many bloopers.
You got
Fuck. This. Hi, my name is Brandi Hofer, and welcome to the Sean Newman Podcast. Yeah, no. Gotta get whew. I told Carly last night. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed. I gotta get, you too, you gotta get to bed early. And I sat and read for an hour and a half, and then I regretted it. Of course. We all do that. You're like, oh, I have free time. This time is mine for the taking. And then it's like you look at your sleep thing and you're like, 5.5 hours? Wow. Good job, you.
But doesn't that make you feel like you're still human? I can actually do what I want, even though you really can't.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed myself, but today I was absolutely fucking useless. So Carly walked in and he's like, "What happened here?" I was looked at him deadpan. I'm like, "We all know what happened." There was just I wasn't there to pick it all up. The person who looks after the stuff wasn't in the mood. I was just I don't care. Just gonna leave that. And Grandpa's coming, so I hope he feels so sorry for me in life. She's so busy. I better help her out here. That was my hope when I left this afternoon. So
what do
fingers
moms
crossed.
really want for Mother's Day then?
Yeah. What do we want?
We want to leave you home with the kids, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you want?
You go golfing. No. Yeah, no, like that's so funny because it's like Mother's Day and it seems like it should be a family time, but really you just don't want to be with your family. Right? And I think almost every mother would say that, which is the worst.
At the young ages, like you got
You're just
how
like,
old is
can
Gus?
I have one free hour? Like, I'll get you
How
what I
old?
want.
How old is Gus?
He's 6.
Okay, and the other two?
4 and 1.
4 and 1. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so-
I think everyone can be like, "Ooh, that's busy," and you're home with them every single day, and you're trying to be, an entrepreneur, and all the stuff that comes with that. Like you're doing a lot.
Yeah, no, it's busy. It's super fun. But days when I'm pretty like a stickler. If anyone like follows me or anything, they know like I'm a stickler to the routine and like self-care and I like remind people a lot. But sometimes you mess it up and things don't go as planned and you just kind of roll with it. So it's super fun. But yeah, for Mother's Day, I definitely, if I could just not have to, clean up all day. I really hate cleaning, like a lot. I'm going to work hard in life to a point where I can have a cleaner once a week. Someone's like, you need a nanny. I was like, no. I love being outside and playing with my kids. And if I had a nanny, that's what they do. Like they're watching your kids, right? And they also like do all the things, like they cook and like clean stuff up. I'm like, if I'm going to spend the money, I will do whatever I want with my kids and then someone will clean the stuff. That's a dream for me. That's a life goal. # life goal. We do have a cleaners and I used to be ashamed to admit it. Like I used to be like, I should be able to keep up with this. That's like, you should be, you're at home. It's like, well, I'm also at home with 3 assholes who don't pick anything up. Like they really, and then another one, a 4th, my partner in crime, he also,
I have written down here that what's life like being a life with 3 boys, and then I'm like
4.
Maybe 4.
It's
Maybe we'll
4.
throw.
To be completely honest. Maybe I'm going to be too honest today because I'm very tired.
Oh, didn't I tell you we've started?
Oh, yes. No, I caught that when you're like, yeah, I like this. We're going to keep going with this. I got the look in your eye. I caught it. Yeah.
Well, this is the best is when people just say what's on your mind, right? Like
It's
I'm like
rough
trying to
day
figure out,
for
okay,
me.
I'm trying to like, okay, what does my wife want for, because I have 3 kids that are 5 and under. They're not going, hey, Dad, we should get Mom this and give her some free time. They're going, no, I want to hang out with Mom. And I'm like, well, I could play that
Let's
card.
just go
Could
to
play the-
grandma's for the day, I think would be a good plan. And give her breakfast in bed and vacate the premises. 100%. She would agree, probably. I just saw her. She's got a 1-year-old as well. Or is he 1 yet? Yeah, he's 1 because we're on the same boat. 3, like yours is 5 and under, mine's 6 and under. So yeah, she's like, Casey.
It's different though. The one thing that you have over Mel and I is you're at home with them every single day.
Right. So she does have that time to herself.
Well,
At work.
with a grade 1 class,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Ooh.
right? Like, so
Ooh.
like she's
That's special.
I'm different because like I go to work, I see grown ass adults every single day. I come to the podcast, I talk to grown ass adults pretty much all the time. So when I get home last night and the kids are like, "You want to wrestle?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna wrestle."
Yeah.
All right, let's
You're
do this.
excited to
Oh, yeah.
spend time with
Yeah.
them and see them. That's your time. And it's great because you kind of feel like you miss them, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you miss them so much. I remember that. First year with Gus, I worked full time at a different job, and it literally broke my heart every day. And when I was pregnant with my second, and I started the mat leave early because I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just like rolling on a ball at my desk. I was like, I'm leaving early. I can't make it 3 more weeks. And so Gus was in full time daycare. And I got home and I was like, oh my gosh. For the first week, it was such an adjustment. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't even know you. And I'm never doing this again. I have to be here for this. Like, we got to work this out. Like, I want to spend time with my kids. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you're tired. Yes, you're not the best human all the time. But, like, you won't miss it because, oh, I'm going to miss it so much when it's gone. I was just thinking that nursing Teddy last night. I was like, you know, you're in the dark rocking your baby and they're like sweetly sleeping in your arms. And like, I bet you in 5 years, even not even 10 or 20, like I would pay so much money to get, like I would give anything to probably get back to this moment where I am right now.
Well, I don't breastfeed by any stretch of the imagination.
But you rock babies.
Yeah, well, we were at
right?
the park. I was at the park with them. Mel and I took them out for a bike ride. This was over the weekend, and there was this old couple, and I don't know. Let's call them early 70s, walking along, and they must have looked at us like, I don't know. It was like 50 shoulder checks as Shay is like racing up hills and Mila's bawling and Casey's eating sand, and you're like, this is interesting, right? And I'm like, but there they are, and they're going, you remember those days? Those were good days. Like, nobody will ever tell you that, but those were good days. But you have your days where you're like, I can't think straight. I don't know. This is tough.
But that's when
all
you're
three
just
kids
like,
are just bawling over nothing.
You just have to kind of give zero fucks. And I feel like if you give zero fucks about, you're like, yes, I'm tired. Okay, my house looks pretty bad. And I'll pick up tomorrow and hopefully I feel better, or the next day, and I'll get to this stuff. Like, you just can't care. Like, because that's so much energy wasted when you're like, hey, I'm just going to chill with the boys. And we were on lawn chairs in the sun out of the wind, and we're like, this is the life. And of course, like, they're little, so they're like, this is the life. Like, it is, boys. It is. Soak that sun up. I look like, who is that? Is it Hugh Hefner? Who's the guy who's suntan? The only part of my body that's like, it's just getting so dark because it's cold here and it's sunny. Carly's like, have you been spending a little time in the sun? I was like, I literally sat out here in the sun 20 minutes and this is what happened to my face. I can't explain it, but it's not good.
Well, it's one thing. Nobody can prepare you for parenthood. Like, nobody.
Say that all the time. No.
The only way, like, you think we got a dog, right? Lots of couples get dogs. Like, I got responsibility. Oh, fuck that. You don't know what it is until you got responsibility, and they're, pooping in the tub. I was saying we met over the weekend.
Poop stories.
Yeah, before I could even walk out of the house, there's a poop floating along in the water, and Casey's like staring at him like, don't you dare touch that. Don't touch that. For the love of God.
But they do.
And they do. And they do play with it.
Did I talk to you the next day after when Teddy, like, you know the morning diaper where it's sagging off there?
Yes.
I've sworn a lot already. I might as well use my normal potty mouth. When it's sagging off their little asses and it's like so full of pee that it's like there's a 1-inch gap. And they're like, it's swatting between their legs. So Teddy usually drops a deuce in the morning. He was for a while anyway in that diaper, so like sometimes like a rabbit turd would fall out here and there, and this was like 6 months ago, so he's very little, but I saw one on the floor and he spotted it too, and I was like, no, and he popped it in his mouth. So gross. I was like, oh, I was like, Carly, Teddy ate his poop, deal with it.
What did he do?
He spit it out. Like, that's gross.
Oh, ooh, that tasted nasty. And we're worried about germs right now, right?
No.
Like, just let's bathe ourselves in hand sanitizer so that we can protect the kids. It's like, no, the kids kids need to eat dirt.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I think there was like a recent with the football guy, Brady. Oh, God. This is a sports podcast. Okay. Anyways, so sorry, sports.
Tom Brady?
So sorry, sports fans.
Like, are you talking about...
I'm just very bad with names. Yes, it's Tom Brady.
You
Okay,
do know
Sean's
what sport
like,
he plays, right?
Yes, okay. Yes. I'm bad with names and I get nervous when I throw names out into the world because I'm like, what if I mess it up? Okay, so Tom Brady's on this new Netflix show about dirt because him and his fancy wife, well, I mean...
Giselle, yes.
Yeah, like, I mean, they have people growing it and feeding it to them, so it's like manageable for their lives. But it's all about dirt specifically and how, like, he eats clean and he needs to eat clean because he needs to perform amazingly. And that's part of why he's so amazing, too, is because he takes care of...
Because he's not eating a cheeseburger.
Right. Yeah. So they talk about like the fact that it starts with like the dirt and the microorganisms and that goes into the plant and, you know, feeds your, you know, all about probiotics, prebiotics. The prebiotics feed the probiotics.
Okay.
And your gut health is the most important thing, and that comes from dirt. So yes, lick some, you know what? Don't take a probiotic. Go out and just stuff some... I'm serious, Sean. Just lick some garden soil. Not even garden soil. Just like take some... Go into the woods and eat some dirt.
You know...
or watch a documentary and learn more about it.
Maybe do some research and learn a bit
Licking
of...
dirt's not going to hurt anyone. Not like from a pot, but like from a forest where there's the actual microorganisms in them. But kids do. They need to go outside and they need to... eat dirt. They don't need to eat their own shit like Teddy did, but they need to eat dirt. This got way off topic.
I think this is awesome. I've been waiting for a good laugh.
Man.
A good laugh for a while. I love good kid stories and talking about shit. And Mother's Day. My mother is like, earmuffs, Mom. It's okay. It's okay.
She's met me.
The entire of Lloydminster
Although I
has
feel
met
like
you.
my manners around your mom would have been toned down. Like I would have been more polite. Yeah.
Geez, that Brandi Hofer really has a potty mouth, eh?
Although,
oh yes, she does, Mom.
Last time I saw your mom, Vanda was there, so she outshone me tenfold. I didn't even have to worry. I was like, next to Vanda, I look like very low key here. It was at Colby's wedding, so she was on full.
Hey,
in her finest form.
Defense of Miss Vanda Shesnick, I was probably on fine form that night too. I think half
We
of
all
us were, right? Isn't that what all parents want? They want to see their kids get old enough to embarrass them in new ways.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was a fun time. But we go way back. We have been friends for a long time, and like somehow we have like kept in touch.
Well, now we live in the same city. We have kids all around the same age. That was a fun day. We got to have our kids play together, kind of randomly, and I don't know, like it's fun to watch little human beings interact and like explore things and meet new people. And I feel for the cities, like the big cities or like Ontario right now, that's in like utter lockdown.
Third lockdown.
Yeah, like
I think I got a message from my art friend there this morning.
Can you imagine being a parent with little kids or being a little kid, right? And just, I mean, it's a weird world we're living in right now. Whether your thoughts on extreme COVID, not COVID, get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine, like all the political stuff, all the whatever, it doesn't matter. Like as what we're seeing, little kids, at least here we're buffered by being in considered Saskatchewan. And
space. We have the luxury of space. And that's, I mean, no one's immune to anything, but we have space, like we have distance, and that is a luxury at this point in time.
Certainly
right?
is.
And we can let our kids run around a field as long as they're not licking each other's faces. I mean, I think we're kind of...
And if it happened, oops.
Yeah, sorry. So sorry. Don't blow... So it was your birthday. Don't blow out the candles. I'm like, I feel like we should draw the line at some point here with all the kids going... Like, I
disagree. I don't know. I read that Twitter feed about we're never going to blow... It's such a barbarian way to... And I'm like, wow, we look at the world in two different ways. I'm like, come on over, blow on my candles. I'm good with it.
I personally am like, obviously I just told everyone to lick the ground. So, like...
Did I mention we're not doctors? Don't take medical advice from us?
Zero. Do not take us seriously in any form.
Just
look up your own stuff. Form your own opinions about life. But yeah, if someone watched me, they'd be like, I was talking to I don't want to call her my assistant, studio manager, and I'm CEO. That's our new title. I was like, this is way better. I don't like the idea of saying someone's assisting me. She's my manager because she legit talks to me on the phone every day for hours through business and not. She was like, what are you doing? And Finn was yelling. He's like, Mom, what do you put in your mouth? What's white do you put in your mouth? And I didn't even want to say it out loud. I was like, the egg that you didn't eat from 6.5 hours ago that I found on the ground from breakfast. At least it was same day. And then I moved from that point into the garage and ate someone's old spaghetti. So I'm like, this is gone. This is what, and I said to Jenny, she's like, that's when you know you're a parent officially. I was like, yeah, I literally don't care. Like, as long as I'm getting nourishment and I don't have to cook it, it's just sitting there. It's like a buffet.
I think I think you're unique in that. I really do. I don't know too many Brandi Hofers. I mean that with the highest of hat tips.
Special in so many ways.
No, I don't know. Like, think of our world right now. Like, if I, when it used to be the 5-second rule, if I drop a carrot, just wipe it off, carry on. And like, the world is not like that anymore. Even the 5-second rule is like, ooh, it's on the ground. It's like, I don't know. What are we?
I definitely don't have any. I mean, if there's hair on it, like, pick that off. Yuck. But
yeah.
But no,
I watched
like,
Casey eat a hair the other day, and I was like,
did not like it.
Hairs, snakes. Those two, just for some odd reason.
Do snakes?
I can't do snakes.
You didn't like catch them at the farm?
As a kid, we used to catch them at the school. I don't know what happened. I feel like a garter snake got in bed with me, but that never happened. I don't know when I just grew up and was like, man, I hate snakes. Oh yeah, they've made me scream like a little girl multiple times. I'm
really?
Great. I'm giving my listeners something to fuel on I might have to edit this part out.
I don't think so. That's a fun fact. Sean does not like snakes. Someone should bring him one to his office. Or what do you call this, the studio?
You can fuck off with that bullshit right there. Pardon all the mothers that are listening to this. That's not even a funny joke. She's got her creepy laugh on and everything. A snake comes underneath that door, I'm done. I'm sorry, Wade. I'm out of this building. No more.
Yeah, I think as an adult, you're like, I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that I'm afraid of this. I don't like spaces like that. You're
claustrophobic.
Like, I guess. Like, I don't know when this happened. We were hiking in Hawaii on our honeymoon, and up one of the mountains, there's like a tunnel, and I was like, I don't want to go through that tunnel. Like.
But you don't remember that as a kid?
No. I mean, and tube slides even freak me out. Which
really?
Is like a tube slide. Or like, and now that I think about it really hard, like whenever I've been in Montreal or like a big city and like the taxi heads through a long tunnel, I get like sweaty and like really freaked out. Like, what if we get stuck in this tunnel and die, or it caves in, or like, yeah, I don't like that. But yeah, you realize those things. Like when you're young, you have no fear. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm afraid of that for sure. And I don't want to do it.
It's kind of curious because I actually can't remember like being bit by a snake or having it wrap around me or anything crazy like that. It's just its movement is like freaks me out, and they're an ugly looking thing. Sorry,
yeah.
The snake.
At least they're not like slimy like you think.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Like the feel of them is quite neat. I know because all the boys bring them home. The Capples across the street, 3 more boys, always catch them from the farm at their auntie's and bring them into buckets into the neighborhood. And then they're like, one's missing. This would freak you out. There's one missing. I was like, you guys it's been a couple days. Like, let's release these guys. But,
I've heard stories like Hillmond is like garter snake central. And I've heard stories of like burrows and basements and
oh my gosh, that's so gross. I agree. That's terrible.
I forget the house they used to talk about, but something about salt. I can't remember. You throw salt. The snakes don't like salt. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The story goes they went into this basement, threw a bucket of salt in this thing, and the road was moving from all the snakes that were rushing out of it.
What?
And they're like,
ooh.
how do I live in this town, right?
Yeah.
Like we grew up like
I feel like that would make you afraid of snakes. Like when there's infestations of things, that's like everyone's kind of creepy worst nightmare, right? Like the sight of like just things like beetles or something like erupting out of. Yeah.
Well, I used to work up north and up in like North Onion Lake, John Lake, Tullabee Lake country, and there were so many garter snakes you could like feel them hitting the truck tires like over and over. Like I'm painting a bad picture
I
here.
know
It wasn't like,
where your snake fear
Yeah.
stems from.
Well,
All these
no,
experiences.
well, this isn't that long ago. I had a healthy dose of snake fear well into my early teens. And saying that, I got a healthy fascination though too. Like you get a documentary, it's like, let's dig into this. Like, all right. Or I went to Drumheller back in the day. They had like a black mamba or something like that. I can't remember. And I was like right up to the glass looking at the thing. I'm like, this thing's intense. I'm glad this bulletproof glasses are. That isn't bulletproof, Sean. I'm out of here, right? Like that's pretty much what's going on.
Even at the petting zoo, I was like, I can't be in this amphibian room. Like I can't.
Petting zoo's done, eh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. Just yeah, like that's got to be a lot of feed, right? And stuff. Like
I
to
guess.
keep up with someone walking in like maybe once or twice a day for $9 or whatever. Like that's not sustainable. Hopefully they found good homes for the animals.
Well, hopefully.
I'm a super like I can't deal with the death of things like animals, or like even when the kids smush a ladybug, I'm like, no, don't.
And you
I
got
can't
boys.
deal with yeah, I know. And yeah, I just can't. I'm like, you guys, these like are super important for the world. Just think about it. If someone just came along and smushed you because they were bigger, like it's not nice. And you know, like they get back to the world. Like one day they're gonna eat you. So joke's on you.
Well, let's talk about
Yeah, that got deep. One day that ant you just smushed, his ancestors are going to eat you. Just morbid.
terrify a poor old kid. Let's talk about the grind. You know, me and you have talked an awful lot, about how hard we push ourselves with me, work, podcast, kids, everything, right? But you're a lady who, I don't know, outdoes me. I don't know.
No.
You do an awful lot. You're painting. Well, actually, I'll let you talk about it because you're trying to figure. There's so many of us. Not so many of us. There's lots of people trying to like crack the code, so to speak, of how you become like a successful entrepreneur, and like how you become where, you're just doing it full time and it's easy or something like that.
Yeah, easy. No. I'm just going to say a saying from my grandpa. If you've thrown enough shit at a barn, or things at a barn door, shit will start to stick. I don't know the saying. He used to say something like that. You just got to try all the things. I think, like, you can also work smart, not hard. I'm not very good at that. I like to feel things out and see how they go. I'm like, well, that didn't work. So let's try this route. And okay, so you do come out from like experiences, and I think reflection is an important part. Last year, I started the year off and I talked to my art consultant, and she's like, I don't know what's happening right now with the art world. Stop trying to apply and get into galleries because that's not going to get you anywhere. Because galleries also take 50% of your sale. I don't know, like your viewers probably, that's a new thing. So I make this artwork. I spend 2 years making it. It's this much money. The gallery, and they should, because they do a lot of work too, they take 50%. So like, then like the government takes this, and then you're like, wow, I went minus. So awesome. This is like a blessing in disguise, because I applied, I think the year before, to like 32 galleries, and I got into one. So a lot of time and effort, right? And that's every artist's goal. So she's like, why don't you set up a shop on your site, see how it goes, start doing this, that, and that. I'm like, okay, cool. I've always done custom work, and I always did prints, but not really like in a marketing way or whatever. So long story short, I ended up doing over 100 custom original pieces in a year, or not even, like 9 months. And I did not realize what I was doing in the middle of it. And it's funny because I'm an art mentor. So like I work with artists and youth and stuff to like give them advice. And literally I give this advice all the time. Like, if you're overworked, you need to charge more. Like, I wish someone would have been like, hello, stop just for a second. You're going to burn out. And I did. So at the end of the year, I got really good at drawing because I did so much, and painting, which it's super fun. I'm very grateful that I did that. And I got I'm good, but I got even better. So there's that. But at the end of the day, I hired an assistant, or someone agreed to work with me. Thank goodness. Because I'm not good with finances. And the biggest thing for people is, if you don't know how to do something, you need to delegate the task. Number one, because there are people out there who can do things for you, who know numbers. I'm not very good at it. Broke down the numbers. This is what you made on custom work. This is what you made on original work. This is what you made on murals. I was like, gotta do some more murals. It's the big ticket. Prints, okay, I'll always do prints. It's like not a big payday, but it's consistent, sustainable. Passive and sustainable income sources. You want a few of those, like things that sell while you're sleeping. That's what you want. Like, as a business, like big businesses, this is no news, but like for little guys,
Yeah,
like,
starting out.
right? So basically I stopped. I'm like, I'm super tired. This was a lot of work for, at the end, bottom line, not a lot of pay. Like, okay, but like if you look at like what someone should make in a year for working as hard as I work, and I love it, and that's why I did it. But I'm like, I probably want to make more, not just pay for groceries, but I want to like, maybe go on a holiday or something, or like big picture, like I want to go on lots of holidays with my family, or, have somewhere where I can have a break, because those are important to me. So we looked at everything, and then we did some goal setting and planning, and like what I can do to make it fun, but also just be smart about it. And like, I'm a hard worker, but I need to work smarter in that sense. That was long-winded, but I'm super like into it, and I'm learning about ad sales and marketing, and it was something I was doing before, but I was just throwing it out there, and my audience is really responsive and loves being inspired. But I'm like, okay, I inspire a lot of people. I've inspired tons of moms all over the world to start painting again because they stopped when they became mothers, which is great to me. I'm like, what? You stopped? Like 100% you stopped? So I get messages all the time, people reaching out. I'm like, that's great. And they want my advice and they want my inspiration, but I literally have nothing. Like, if they want to buy a print or whatever, but that's like $20. Like,
Yeah, they want your brain.
So yeah, I'm writing a book, working on that for next Mother's Day, because it turns out books, they take a long time to write. I love writing. I think I'm pretty good at it. I am kind of funny and give advice. Like, I think I'm funny. My husband, he's like, here. I'm like, then why are you laughing? Like, he's like, okay, but like, really, I'm funny. I'm like, I'm funny. We're both trying to be the funniest person in the room, but yeah, like, I feel like I think lightheartedness and good feelings. I just want to spread more joy, but like be able to do it financially too at the same time.
You want to do what you want and get rewarded for it, and like it's you're doing it extremely well, in my opinion. And I
That's
think
so nice of you.
I've said this before. Like, I've had like big names come on the podcast, but in Lloydminster's sense, for a long time, I argued you were the biggest name that I'd had come on, which just because you
just started out, yeah.
No. Well, sure, but like you can laugh about it that way. I just mean like if you transitioned what you've done in the art world over to hockey, you're a big name. Like to me,
I've been at it a while too, though, right?
Right.
Like, that's
I understand. Yeah. So you're just looking for financial compensation for what you're putting all your effort in. But that's like Brandi. That's like thousands upon thousands, hell, upon millions of entrepreneur people like trying to find like, I don't know, like, do I think I'm unique because I have a podcast and I work full time? No, I'm pretty sure that's like 99% of podcasts. Like, there's not many podcasts that are just like going that, the internet wants it to make it simple. You do these 3 steps, you monetize, passive, boom,
or
boom,
you
boom,
pay me
done.
and I'll tell you how to do it. It's like, take my course. It's $3,000. Take my course and we'll get you there. You're like, will you?
No, well, they'll impart, but think about even yourself, like, or myself. Like, there's certain things that your brain is worth something. If it was $50 for a half an hour course, you build the course and now people can do it for $50, whatever, and maybe you make some money that way.
No, I'm doing that. I'm on that, actually.
Well, there you go. So you like, when people, experts, give out those courses, what they perceive it as is you take this course and you're going to be rich. It's like, no, you're going to take the course.
Too.
You're going to take the course and they're going to give you 1 or 2 nuggets, and it's up to you to take the nugget and transition that into making what you do already better. Because
I'm not saying that people aren't going to get anything out of those courses, but it's not going to magically give you the answer. You're still going to have to work very hard. They're just showing you, like, you need to nurture your email list or this and that and this and that, right? And those things are important because it's some people don't know that basic information, or it's a good reminder to be like, yeah, I do need to get my subscribers up because those people signed up to support me, right? No, and you got to know your audience too. Like, you do a project and you're like, that didn't work out. They don't like it, or it didn't work, and maybe it'll work in a year or 2 or 5. Or it won't, but I won't do that anymore. But we're doing a course for in our art academy. See, I also set up a whole new website. So that costs some doll hairs, like big time. But my website needed to host like so many things that I like, and I delegated it and I paid that money because I can't do code. That's beyond me. Like,
and you don't want to do code, and it takes time, right?
Literally, something I was having a trouble when I met this woman in New York. I didn't meet her in New York. She's from New York, and we Zoom. But I was like, I can't even figure out how to blah, 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 blah on Google Workspace. Google Workspace can go to fucking hell. It's super hard. I don't get it. I have trouble. Anyway, I spent a week trying to fix it, time and energy, and I was so mad. And she fixed it in 3 minutes. And that was a lesson in itself. It's like, if you can't figure it out,
well,
you can find a way to make the money for someone to figure it out for you.
Well, me and the brothers were just actually talking. I've said for a really long time, like, it's all how you bend time, right? Like, I got time to do podcasts. I got time for my kids.
Yeah.
I got time for work. I got time. But actually, now that I'm 2 years into it, which is odd to say for some reason.
It's crazy.
But to be 2 years into the podcast, actually now what I realize is I have a certain amount of energy to put into things, because a guy pointed out, like, I don't love social media. It doesn't mean I can't be good at it. It just means I don't love it.
No.
But at the same time, he just broke it down. Like, it's just energy. You put energy into something, you're going to get rewarded for that. And if you don't put energy into something, well, what are people really going to find?
If you hate it, it's going to hate you back.
Right. And everybody's going to see it because you didn't take the time and the energy to put into it. And it's like, so why is the podcast decent? Decent. Oh, I don't know. I put a lot of time and effort into it. Like,
no, your podcast is very good. You came over the other day and I heard from the kitchen you were in my garage, and I was like, fuck, does anyone know how to turn the goddamn TV off in this house? Because we have a giant, of course, pandemic. Let's get the biggest TV of all time in our garage. Not when I was pregnant and sitting in there for a summer. I'm like, can we get a TV in here? Because I'm in here all day. No. But when there's playoffs and a pandemic, then we get the biggest TV of all time. Anyways, thought you were the TV. You were a podcaster, or a newscaster. I feel like you could be a newscaster because you have a special talent.
You need to work on your sales with Carly, because what you should have said was, hun, I'm going to be in the garage all the time, and just think we could watch the playoff hockey in here
Yeah,
when
I
you get
should
home.
have,
And you should have just twisted it, and he would have been like, you were so right.
Would have got a TV a year earlier. I thought being pregnant and being in pain constantly and sitting in a lawn chair would have been enough. But no, now there's couches, TVs, like shelves for drinks, a popcorn machine. But it's the best. It was the best idea. Like, I was a participant in this, like, for the most part. Like, someone's like, I have couches. I was like, I will take your couches and we will set this shit up because it's such a lifesaver. Our house doesn't get, I have three kids. It doesn't matter, boy or girl. Your house is kind of going to get destroyed, especially if you have a Sharpie loving guy like I do. All this stuff, and a hockey lover, like all the stuff that they do and mess up, like that happens in the garage and I don't even care. And I put a bouncy castle in there too. So all winter it was like the space to be.
Brandi's place, the bouncy castle on cement
It's a
floors.
dream.
I tell you what, your kids are going to learn real fast.
I put pillows under the slide part and that's good. Yeah, no.
Tough of those little buggers up.
Yeah. No, you got to have a space for people to and like, growing up, a lot of kids had basements and they just left it,
Bare.
for hockey and stuff like that. But we were talking about before.
Well, we were talking about the grind. I was curious,
Oh,
what's one of the things you've tackled and was harder than you thought it was going to be? Like, just, I don't know if it's being an artist or like the social media side, or I know there's lots.
Yeah.
But like, like you get told, I don't know. God, it's like when people come and they're like, hey, like, we want to start a podcast. Can we talk to you? I'm like, oh, yeah, totally. And actually, there's been tons of podcasts in Lloyd, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And they always come and they're like, okay, so what do we need? We want to do this. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, how in depth do you want to get? Like, podcast is super easy to start.
You can record it on your phone and wrap your, like when I started.
Sure.
I found foam in my, because I minored in film. I know about some stuff. Like, I'm not going to say I'm a genius at it, but like, I know the basics. Like, I knew like foam over sound cuts out some room noise. So I found some of my pastel foam and I wrapped my phone in it. And I was like, I am set up. That was for free $99 and I'm going to start my podcast. Like, because, yeah. You listen to it, this sounds probably pretty shitty. But my friend Kim edits it, and it's one of the things
but
I like chatting. But
go back to Joe Rogan, very early Joe Rogan, right? Which is one of them. And it doesn't sound
great.
I mean, it's okay. And so to me, I go like, just start and stick with it. And if it's really good and people really follow into it and it's like really good, the sound quality, the assistance, everything. I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
and
wrong.
then if you do get into it and you're enjoying yourself, then invest. Like, you took time to set up everything, and you're like, this is great. I'm gonna really invest some.
Well, I was thinking about it. I don't want to put
space.
I don't want to put a number to it now, but like when I first started out, we had the $400 Acer computer using a free program online with 2 mics that I got Bill Caverly to hook us up with, who gave us mic stands and like cords and like, I don't know, the whole setup. We spent more on redoing the basement room that had the mouse shit on the floor. Like, that's where we spent the money. So when you came in, at least we're like, ooh, this doesn't feel so bad. But this space, I mean, let alone just your husband's table he made for me, like. This space, there's been some time and effort put into this. And
this looks great. I was admiring it when I got here. Pretty slick.
Shout out to Windsor Plywood.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just mention them casually.
Well, it gets talked about all the time because it's a beautiful table. It almost killed me hauling it up those stairs. Like it is a heavy, like, this place gets robbed. No, this table will be here.
Like, we're leaving this.
The place burns down. Somehow this table will still be here. Like, this is a solid chunk of wood.
I'm learning that those things are heavy. I'm just like, trying to move like the thing he built me in my yard. I was like, no, not for me. Yeah. No, like everything, especially with the podcast, like, I have a message and I have stuff to say and I want to say it, but like I'm also an artist, so like if I'm going to spend my money somewhere, it's going to go to fancy art supplies. And like whoever wants to listen to my podcast, cool. I do have especially my like don't overthink it, which is the presentation I've given to like 2,000 people now, like in total of the people that have seen it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably more because it's on someone has it as memberships. So it's an Art Queen membership. It's called the Art Queens. So they have it like all the time. So I don't even know how many people have seen it. That day, I don't know how you do this, but like, or how you can sense it or energy. I don't know what you want to call it, but I could feel energy coming through because there was 400 women there, and that somehow like, but online, but somehow I could feel like all the love and support, and that I was like making
Connections.
Yeah, like not even connections, but like I was making an impact on how people perceive their day or how they live their life, and inspiring them to maybe, not overthink it. Like, so that was one of the coolest experiences recently that I've ever had, where I figured out that I could move people. Like I knew after the women's conference here, when I gave my first one of this specific this is when I wrote it. First of all, I fucking hate public speaking, or I thought I did. I've gotten more used to it as the world wants to see you. Like if, I can't just throw my artwork out anymore. Like people are like, that's cool art, but I'd like to know a little bit about you. And I was terrified of writing and public speaking and all that thing. And when they asked me to speak at the women's conference, I was like, I don't think people really, they're like, we think you have a story or something that people might want to hear. And I was like, well, I'll think about it. Then they met with me and they were super nice. So I was like, oh, I feel super bad. I can't say no to these women. And then I did it. And it was, again, 300 women in a room. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. Like one of the most exhilarating things I've ever done. And yeah, so I'm like, I got to get this down on like my platform and share that with people. And yeah, I still hear stuff about it all the time, but yeah, I just want to make sure no one's wasting. I just want people to live their best life.
It's terrible of me. You were like guest, I don't know, in the first 20 episodes.
8
I said,
or 12 or something.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And I'm feeling terrible because I didn't write that down. Poor host. Anyways.
No.
I go, there's a reason why I wanted to sit down with you at the start. And you can try and tell yourselves lies about why that was. But like, you have a really interesting story about how, and I really suggest if people are just finding Brandi on the podcast, they go back and check out, episode 8 or 12, somewhere in that general vicinity, and you'll find it. And it's your story up until, 2 years ago, and it does all the backstory of how you got in, becoming an artist, and your travels, which were super interesting. And I listened to the women's conference video on your, or not listened to it, read it, right? Because it's on your old website.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, dang, this is interesting, right? Now going to your energy point and feeling that, I don't know what that is, but Curtis Clark, a mutual friend, had once told me when we were talking about death, right? Get morbid. But he said, well, we got energy in us right now, right? Like they can actually physically...
Because he's into dirt.
That's right. But
he knows dirt.
But they can monitor it, right? Brain's firing everything. You got energy. But when you die, that disappears. So where does it go? Because it just, where does it go? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, it's got to go somewhere. Fair enough. So to feel energy, there was a super interesting documentary, and I have no idea what it's called, obviously, about energy and happiness. And so they did this test, and it was this huge movie producer who realized that he was no longer happy. So he made this documentary about happiness. They put yogurt next to him. Yogurt is alive with cultures. And they measured the scale of, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. And by the way we talk about the dirt and stuff, clearly people know. They had something measuring it.
And as soon as they started talking about his job, like the job and the stuff, like the meter just like scaled because his energy was like hitting
Leaving himself.
like the stress of his life and all that entailed, and how he like fucking hated it, couldn't do it anymore. It just was like, I don't know what they were measuring, but it seemed legit on the whole thing after you see, like, it was very inspiring. But yeah, like, it's the perfect example is you're having a shit day and you go vent at someone, they feel that shitty energy. Like, so that makes perfect sense to me.
Well, what do I
Right?
say? Listeners, what do I say like 9 times out of 10 on podcasts? Positivity spreads as fast as negativity, but we choose.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, you put out there, and some days you get it back and some days you do not. But you just move forward. Like, were you telling me about the farmer thing, or was that my husband? Now I'm confusing you with
The farmer
So I've
thing.
talked to you so much about recently. Oh God, I'm so tired today. About like our world we live in, and like, if a farmer's feeling shitty back in the day, well, he's feeling shitty and he goes and shovels the dirt. But if we're feeling shitty, like, there has to be a reason. We go do it this and that, or troll someone, or take it out on, like, there's so many, like, ways. Yeah, that wasn't you, I guess. That must have been my husband.
Well,
I don't know.
there's I think it was Keith Morrison who said, he was quoting a guy, and for all the good that comes in the world, there's like equal bad. So you get, like, I don't know, some advancement in technology. Like Netflix. Netflix is a great advancement in technology. Like, I don't think anybody will argue that. But, I mean, now we don't leave our homes and go, let's say you want the old Netflix. It was Blockbuster and movie stores. There's a lot of fun memories there, is there not?
I have a full... Speaking of my book, I have a full chapter about Blockbuster in it, which is hilarious. But I had to look back at it, and when I was editing, I had to be like, these kids these days, they don't know what Blockbuster is. They may not know. I have to explain. I have to start out this chapter by explaining Blockbuster.
There used to be a thing called Redbox, which is probably still there. I can't
remember that.
Well, Redbox used to, your late fee was like, I don't know, I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but $1 a day until you paid for the movie, and then it just became yours. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Because, like, we all have the story of, like, D&E or wherever where you didn't take back Star Wars 4 because whatever reason it got left under a sock pile, or you're just lazy and you roll in, you got an $80 bill, and mom and dad are like, you didn't take back that movie. And, like, can you imagine being a parent? It's like, oh, my God.
Now it's
Why
phone
didn't he?
charges.
That's right. Well, Casey, our youngest, got on the PS4 and somehow bought a video game for like $80. I'm like, how did he do that? And I'm like, nah, that's my own fault. But, like, I don't want to pay $80 for a video game.
I think you must be able to go back, because it has happened to us more than once. That situation, the situation of purchases. You watch a movie, you're like, whoa, I didn't want the premier access to that or to watch that movie, but I guess we are. But yeah, it happens. And I think with phone stuff, like, parents of teens probably all know. They're like, I ate that $500. That sucks. And that's all they can do.
I think I don't have teens yet, but I get a $500 bill to a cell phone. I'm going to take a hammer to it, and that'll be the end of it.
Right.
Like, that'll be the end of it. There'll be...
And done. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 17, so eat it.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was, like, 25.
Really?
Like,
Nice.
Don't get me wrong. Once again, there's lots of things I love on there. But if tomorrow, I got to be careful about this. I feel like if tomorrow cell phones just vanished, but we still had, like, computers and internet access and all the great things that come with it, I think I'd be a happy guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I am there with you.
We talk a lot about, like, working in the oil field or heck, being a banker or whatever job you want. You had your set hours. You had to be there. Those were your working hours. You got out of there, And don't get me wrong, there was some work talk that went around, but like nobody could get a hold of you. And actually, we went even a step further. We're like, so what happened if like you had a big, you wanted to get a hold of somebody, but he's out of office right now. Oh, I'll leave him a message. And then what happens if you go out and then you just play phone? Like that's a different type of phone tag.
Yeah.
But I'm like, a cell phone call at 8:30 at night, 10 at night, 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you're like, did I really need to know at this time? Like,
Do you leave it on? I'm a DNDer because I like to live my life. And like I have a platform where like I'm not huge, but when you have like a following on social media, people reach out, which I'm fine with, but I get back to them at my leisure. Like
my big thing is work, right? So with Baker,
you have to.
Well, I don't have to. By no means do I have to do anything.
But not at night.
It's true. I've gone to no notifications, so my phone doesn't beep at me nearly as much.
Yeah.
And I find that like really enjoyable. Like all of a sudden I'll just flick on whatever and I'm like, oh God, I missed a ton of messages.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's too bad.
That's
right?
I see that every day. I'm like, time delegation. That's it, right? You can't let it take hold of your life. Okay, cell phones, yes, they suck in that regard that no one can unplug, basically. But you also, how happy are you sitting on that phone? Or what things are you ignoring? I lost my baby today because I got a message and I felt obligated to ask it back. Thank goodness those old women stopped him on his bike. He's one. He should not be riding a Strider.
No, it's
and
awesome.
I had banned him.
Brandi has
from
a
the
1-year-old
Strider because of this.
What? He can absolutely cruise.
I hang it up.
Let that kid
I gotta
ride.
hang it up because we let Gus out to bike to school now because he's a big guy. He's like, I'm biking to school. We watch him, but and make sure he gets there because like I'm just like, you're my baby, don't go, because he doesn't want me to walk him anymore. At some point, you're gonna have to let him. Yeah, no, I am. I'm letting him. But Teddy takes off as soon as he sees Gus take off with that bike. He goes and grabs his bike and follows him. Or if he used to go out the front door while I was walking Gus to school and like be like 40 feet behind me and I wouldn't notice. Like he's like on, and so I have to hang his bike up now because yes, you're literally, this was 40 seconds and he was out of our cul-de-sac.
Well, can I just say, I think it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
No, it's not pretty cool. It's a 1-year-old ripping around a Strider and like totally
I can go on a
owns it.
full 2-kilometer walk with him, which is insane.
Well, it reminds me of Shay. That's the way Shay was at like 2, not 1.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. But like, this is where I shouldn't have been on my phone and whatever. But also though, like I have my partner, husband, he like he has that like little bit more of like an addictive personality. Like he'll sit on there, right? He'll sit on there. And I don't get it because I don't like to sit on my phone at all in any regard. Like at all. I'm not a YouTuber. Like I don't get caught up because I like real moments in real life. And I feel like that is where technology sucks. And I just wish that people would realize, and they're going to be on their deathbed, again, getting a little intense, but they're going to be on their deathbed one day and be like, wow, I decided to sit on this thing instead of like play with my kids. Like how shitty is that? Like, and it's going to be like foresight, but not really. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
People are going to regret that.
I've been thinking a lot about, I don't know why it keeps coming up. Comes back to maybe things you put in the universe, they come back to you. But like I've been talking a lot about death lately. Just like how people are very uncomfortable with it, right? Like, but it's pretty much shoved down our throat every day because of COVID, right? Like deaths, how you feeling, and how bad COVID is, and like all these things, and like. I remember at the very beginning, like I was pretty stressed out.
It was very scary.
Right? But not like as much for myself as my like 1-year-old, right? Like, man, he's only got to experience like 1 year of the world. Like I'd certainly like to let him have a few more years, right? Like, but one of the things that, I was talking about with Dennis Chopko and Vance Crow had first asked me about it. And And so it just kind of keeps coming up. And I go like, that's why you gotta live a life where if tomorrow comes and it's your time, you better be proud of what you did.
Smile.
Because we all sit here and think you're going to get 85 years, right? And I hope I do. I really do. But like, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's driving to work, which we all know is not safe in our neck of the woods, and like, just think of some of the stuff we drive through, whether it's, I don't know, like heart attack.
Yeah, no, our neighbor, sure as shit, there's an ambulance, and like, Carly was pale because, you know, I lost a parent recently. He lost a parent recently.
Yeah.
That hits very close to home. And when you see stuff like that happen, it's just like shocking. And then he gets grief is funny, but like with him and heart things and his dad, so his grandpa died, heart attack, 40, left 7 kids. So, and Carly's dad was the oldest. So they know. And I saw it in Carly's dad, so Dwayne. A lot of locals will know him, remember him fondly because he's a very charismatic, great person. He lived life to the fullest. You could see it in his eyes all the time. I could see it in his eyes when he looked at his first grandchild, my son, and he always had a twinkle or almost tear because you could see him observing and watching and soaking it all in, because when your dad passes away from a heart thing, you know that's a genetic. That's, you know, your days aren't all there. That's scary because it's a reality for you. And I just knew he knew. And we were in Victoria and he was just staring at Gus, and I watched him from across the coffee shop, and then I went over to him and he said, you know, this is what matters in life right here. And I'm like, yeah, because my mom had just passed away, and I'm like, yeah, that's the good stuff. Like, he was just basking in spending time with his first little grandbaby, you know, it's almost like losing them is hard, and it's one of the hardest things, but we're all going to go through it.
Yeah.
We're all going to lose our parents at some time. And they hope that that's the case, right? They don't want it the other way around. It's a lesson, and it's a reminder for you to take in, because after that, those losses happened. Nothing scared me anymore. I'm like, public speaking, I guess I'll try it. Like, I don't have anything to lose, because in the face of death, that's just not as scary. Like, you know, or loss, or it just reminds you how precious life is, and those moments are fickle and they're fleeting. So, I mean, those experiences that we have, they're just a reminder and a lesson. So, and you have to take it as that. Simply more complicated.
Well, and I'll just add to it my thoughts that are, it's why you should approach every day. Like, I understand it's the saying now of you should approach every day like it's your last, because it could be. But then tag on to that, but live a life that you're proud of. So be kind to people, smile, right? Chase what you want to do. Like, really chase it.
And if you don't want to be kind to people, just go lay down for a second. Like, if you don't have that energy, because we don't always have that positive, like, energy, and you don't want to, like, give some days. Like, that's human. That's take your time.
But I would argue,
I had a big lesson lately, Sean. Sorry to interrupt, but I had a big. So we both have platforms. So some people, I'm surprised. This was a reminder. Ooh, Brandi, people are on your platform listening to you. So I was in Bud Miller Park, and this young woman was being filmed dancing through the park. I was like, goddamn kids. Fucking TikTokers. Like, it's just like, I was like, what? And then I went on live that night. It was New Year's Day. This is still, if you want to see it, it's still on my IGTV. At the end of it, Carly and I, it was Carly's first appearance on my social media platform, and we just went on because we had nothing to do. We couldn't go anywhere, so we dressed up and went on live to shoot the shit. I don't even know what we talked about, but we definitely mentioned that. I was like, yeah, what was she even doing? He's like, I know, they look ridiculous. And we're like, because we're old-ish. And we're not old, but like for the younger people who know how to use the TikTok, we're old. Anywho, she saw that and she's like, oh, hi, I'm the girl you were like, how did she see it? I didn't even, this is my name. And just for your info, she was actually very nice about it. This could have turned out super bad, very badly, very poorly. Made me feel bad, but she's like, in this time, the pandemic, and if you want to send your friend a nice birthday video and put together goofy videos with all your friends and then make a full edit and this is it if you'd like to see it. And I was like, okay.
But that's all right.
I feel very badly now, and I'm so sorry. And would you like this painting? So, I mean, lesson learned, and that's what happens when you kind of get ho-hum.
But that's human.
Yeah,
like,
no, it
nobody's
is
perfect.
But like, I can keep it in.
You can't tell me.
I can keep it in. I don't need to.
I know, but you can see something and just be like, bah. And have a rant. It's okay.
Kids.
And then all of a sudden, take some information. Good on her for reaching out, right? It becomes learn. Oh, geez. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. And
She seemed very nice. I like her a lot now, actually. So it was a connection, and yeah, she has a dance studio, so she's a very good dancer. But she's like, I totally get what you're saying. My dance students, the TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, I know the TikTok. So no, it was like a situation that could have gone like, I've been trolled too. So I don't know why, because I'm pretty nice. Like, I'm a nice person.
Because people like stirring shit up.
I guess so.
Don't they?
So yeah, they do.
Some people get their kicks
They're
out
like,
of it.
you're a terrible artist. I was like, that's your opinion. So
carry on with life.
Yeah. Thanks for emailing me about it. Like, weird, right?
Has Carly, your husband, is he getting used to like how much you're on like the social media, like the constant, like, we got to film this, we got to be like, or am I?
Yeah. So recently, because we're filming so much, just because with the website, we do need course material and usable content that's for like ad copy and stuff. Like, we used to do only like 2 photo shoots or so a year, so I could have like nice stuff. Like, look what I do with my kids. You should too, if you can. So, and then here's my art. Please buy it. So, yeah, he does when I have a booking. He's like, ugh, and
we should have Mel and Carly in on a round table.
Yeah,
that's what we
she's
should
probably
do.
sick of it too, hey?
Oh, well,
yeah,
I don't know about the social media stuff because I'm
but
whatever
like
about
you
it. But
being preoccupied doing your things. But I mean, in the same breath, he goes to work full time every day. So, like, I'm like, okay, this is your day off, but because he has Fridays off, so it's a weekday. So I book appointments and I book work things because it's my day to work. Like, I want to be successful at what I do because I'm passionate about it. And, so I don't even give it room. I'm like, yep, we're doing it. Bye. Thanks for being here. But yeah, it is a lot. Like, even I don't really like I told you the other day, I hate wearing makeup. And if you're on camera, you're supposed to, right?
You're supposed to have a full set of teeth as well.
Yeah.
And I just roll with it.
I don't know. But yeah, and putting on nice clothes and stuff. Like, so I'm trying to make it so, because it can get away on you, right? Like, you want to look at my box. Okay, so not my box, but my Mother's Day box. Look at my box. I'm like, I need to make a joke reel about me talking about my box. Because, yeah. Anyway, we have a Mother's Day box. Anyway, it's cool, but I want to have like more me in there, you know? And we did have bloopers reels and stuff, but like moving forward, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to have more me in there, and I will from now on, you know? So we did. The next thing I did, I was wearing my shirt that has someone made a dog shirt. My sister found this in like a vintage store. It's a picture of their dog, who also happened to be named Brandi. And she's like, I need to get this for my sister.
And you had to rep it, of course.
Oh, yeah. So like that's what I'm comfortable in. So we did all my new course stuff. I was just in jeans and honestly, I felt way more comfortable. I was talking about like my kids and creating and how you can make space for this too, and your kids will connect with you in this amazing way, and it'll all be worth it. And it flowed like a river. Like, it felt natural, it felt good. And that's the perfect example. As you throw a bunch of shit at a barn door, some of it will stick. Like, I didn't like doing that. I really like doing this. And this is kind of my year to figure that out. Or, I lost $4,000. Whoops. Like, now I have to have a print sale. Like, you just got to try it out. And thank you to all of those who bought prints.
Well,
you saved my ass.
Speaking of prints and paintings, we got to talk about what we're doing here for this Bike for Breakfast.
Yeah.
And how we're getting you involved. Actually, how you
I don't
want to be.
get this excited over, because we live in Lloyd. I do custom art. What's my top selling art item?
It's probably sitting on my sidewall there.
It is.
Connor McDavid.
I talked to my brother last night, and he's like, you are a product of your environment. I am like, yep, I am a true product of my environment. It's great. My community, so this is my community supporting me in the only way they know how. They love hockey. They like my art.
Yeah,
this is it.
There. People can see
Beauty.
what I'm talking about. That's Connor McDavid, baby. So go to the video if you're listening to the audio, and you can see what I'm talking about, because it's super cool.
Yeah. So when you told me about your charity and we were going to do a different project, I was like, I don't think it'll work. So let's just move forward, and I know what will work. And I'm actually super jazzed about it. Like, I don't wake up, like, go to sleep at night. I just actually hit the pillow and like pass out at this point. There is no worry on my mind. It's just like, but like literally, because my watch this is the new Do Not Disturb phone tracker I've got strapped with a watch. He's like, you don't answer your phone, that's a serious crime for emergencies. So he's like, here's your watch. So it tracks my sleep. Literally, it's like 1 minute. So anyway, one night, a few years back, me and the husband I don't think we weren't married, but I was like anxious, and I'm like, oh, I cannot fall asleep. Now we don't even sleep in the same bed because we have a million kids, and we divide and conquer. That's the idea right there. Like, they can go to your room, this one can go to my room, and hopefully some of us get sleep in the meantime. And now I sleep diagonal on a king-size bed, so it's awesome. I don't want to go back at all, because he goes to bed at midnight. I go to bed at like 10:30. Someone wakes you up at midnight? That sucks. Anyways, stay on track, Brandi. Anxious, being like, oh, I'm worried about the world. Like, you know how sometimes at night, that's what happens. Your mind races. I was like, what are you thinking about? He's like, can I be honest? I was like, please do. I'm worried about this, this, and this. He's like, I'm thinking about changing the curve on my hockey stick. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be you. So simple. So like the worries. Yeah, but so I get it. I live with a hockey fanatic. So for me to be jazzed about
Doing a painting of hockey players is pretty special, and I'm working on it right now. Got the sketch done last night. So to give everybody a little bit of background, because I assume by now lots of the listeners have listened to us talk about, me and Ken Rutherford talk about Bike for Breakfast, or have seen the social media, and if you haven't, go to Bike for Breakfast on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and you can get caught up. But essentially, 10 of us are biking from Lloyd to Tufnell, Saskatchewan to see Quick Dick
Hemorrhoids.
to turn around and come back, all raising
so
money
cool.
for Lloydminster schools and then the surrounding area, going from Onion Lake, Paradise Hill, Hillmont, Marshall, Lashburn, Maidstone, Neilburg, Marsden, Paradise Valley, Kidscotty, Marwayne, Clandonald, Dewberry. I think I got them all.
Okay, so was it planned to be this fucking huge from the beginning, or did it grow like insanely?
So in the very beginning, the idea was, well, I call it my stupid idea. It's a stupid idea, Brandi, but that's what doesn't mean it can't be good, right? So
It's very good.
My initial idea was Quick Dick was going to come here for, I want to get him in the studio. We got this weird relationship,
Really?
right? Like, well, think about it. I've interviewed him 3 or 4 times. He's my most popular guest. He's huge in Saskatchewan. I've never met him in person, but I feel like, we're kind of kindred souls. It's
know
fun.
him.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I've been bugging him to come, and he just went, the highway runs both ways. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll do a road trip. And then my brain starts working, and I wake up one day and I go, maybe I'll bike to him. And he's like, you do whatever you want. I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, maybe I'll bike to him and raise some money. And then Ken Rutherford said, sometimes you just got to dream a little bigger. And I'm like, and that's straight out of
that recently.
That's
Look
straight
what's
out of
happening.
That's straight out of a movie, Inception, where they say that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So I sat back.
I like Inception too, by the way, and I reference that movie often.
Well, Dream a Little Bigger, Darling is in that movie, Tom Hardy. Anyways, so then I took a step back and I put it out on social media, what's something that needs a little bit of steam blown into it? And listen, you want to get involved in volunteering, you can throw a stone and hit probably 5 groups that are crying out for people to help. And but for me, it has to be something that I'm passionate about, right?
Or it just won't work.
It just won't work. That isn't how people follow what I do, or at least I don't think. When I'm passionate about things, I think people can feel that and see that. And so then I sat down. I had Neki Jamal in here, and I threw him the idea, and he goes, I fucking love this. I'm coming with you. And I'm like, oh, you're coming with me. Okay. So now there's 2 of us. And then he's like, the more people you get involved in this, the bigger it can become and the better it'll be. I'm like, all right. So then, we go from 4 to 6 to 10. And now because of COVID, we're capping it at 10. We figured out all the COVID restrictions and all that good stuff. And there's 10 of us. And the breakfast programs is just, I'm married to a teacher. Lots of the people on this trip are in the school system or have loved ones. And, the stories just...
She sees it every day to the greatest scale.
It's not like every kid's showing up with nothing, but you hear the stories. It's like, okay, well, kids mean a lot to me. Obviously, I got my own. And it pains me to hear some of the stories I hear. I'm like, well, what can we do? Can't run into the homes and, what's that?
Hi.
Yeah.
You're not doing a great job.
Right. And what do you
People
even
don't
know?
like to hear that.
And what do you even know about their story, right? Their story could be heartbreaking.
Exactly.
And so we just went, okay. Lloyd isn't just Lloyd, though, right? I'm a Hillmont boy. Kenny's a Paradise Hill boy. We got a lady from Onion Lake coming. We got people on this trip that are not from Lloyd that are surrounding, or we got people that work in Lloyd and their business is built by surrounding Lloyd. So we went, okay, this is what we think we can. This is what we think we can literally do this year, and hopefully it goes well, and in years to come we can grow it. Hopefully, maybe not. Maybe I'm. But
no, I don't think so.
Proof of concept. And so that's how Brandi gets involved. So June 4th, we're biking from Lloyd to Tufnell and back. It's about 1,050K nonstop, but 1 hour stretches. So it's manageable. Yes, that's right.
Kind of.
So me and Brandi get talking about this, and that's where you come in, right? With this painting and auctioning it off and the proceeds going to this, which is super cool.
Yeah. So the plan is have to finish it this week. Which again, I'm very fast and efficient because that's how I roll through life. That is also, I get messages all the time. In fact, I got one today. They're like, I don't know how you're doing this. I was like, I don't know. I'm very efficient. I don't waste time because I say it all the time. Time is our most precious commodity. Yeah, so I have full confidence that I can build an auction on my website. And so not only do I have to create this painting this week, I have to, and this is getting geeky into art, being an artist, but you also have to scan it, edit it, like, and build all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of technological things that happen. And not only that, I'm launching an spring exhibition with 22 other female artists next week. So, like, plus I'm a full-time parent at home. So I'll be burning some midnight oil, but like, I'm so pumped. And again, I love what I do. So I know that I will finish this. And then I got some support all around. So I'm super pumped. And the image is...
What is the image?
You were going to say that? No, you say it. I don't want to fuck it up. It's Gretzky and Mark Messier.
Is it Mario Lemieux?
I was like, it starts with an M. At least I knew. Okay, when you started talking about Necky, I was like, Carly, who's everyone talking about? Is it Ollie? Or do you know who I'm talking about? He's like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Necky. I was like, Ollie. I'm just not good with names. I'm sweating saying names right now.
It's Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier.
In 87?
No, that's a good question.
Oh,
I actually
come on.
I don't know that.
Are you not an Oiler fan?
Come on, now you're gonna come and razz me on my own show?
I am. I mean, I feel like you should know the years they won the cup. If I'm like throwing out a number somewhere, I feel 82?
No.
87? Was that a better one?
Well, no, they won. But the thing is they won a whole bunch of cups, right? So
in a row.
I don't
right?
know.
Oh my gosh, people are going to be mad at us right now.
No. Yes, they did.
Do you have Google?
Yeah, absolutely. No, what I'm getting at isn't that I don't know
His
the
hair
years
is
they won the
short.
cup. I'm saying I don't know when that specific picture. You want me to look it up? I tell you what, you talk, I will look up.
So
okay?
Gretzky didn't have his Princess Diana haircut. Right? Did you see that? Carly showed it to me. Right? Oh my gosh. Awesome. Yeah. Anyway, he had short hair. So he looked a bit older. But the reason I chose this image is because I think it evokes, and I text you this. I text you this. Gosh. Lucky this isn't live. People would just be like commenting left, right, and center. Like, Sean, get her off.
They're saying 88, but I don't know if that's right or not.
Okay. Yeah, so I was in the ballpark. That's pretty good for me. High five.
Well, and so I wanted to say it's not because I don't know when the Oilers won cups. It's because I was you're such a jackass. I was meaning because like just giving it to me. I was meaning because like I can't give you the specific year of that picture.
What month and day was it, please? Okay, so it's Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky, and they're staring at each other at the like pivotal moment of their career. I found this because people have asked me. I've drawn him lots. I've drawn because this is where I live. I'm an artist. People like my art. People like hockey.
Okay,
so I hunt Gretzky images, but this is the first time I saw this one. It was like meant to be. The universe gifted me this image to find for this project specifically because they're staring at each other's eyes. And it's like it captured the excitement and how they felt. Like, so then I went and asked my husband. I showed him the image. I was like, does this give you a hockey chubby? Because I feel like it should. And he's like, yeah, that's like what you dream of. And that's
okay. So it's saying 1988. That's
88.
I've
There we
Googled
go.
the picture.
Lucky 8, number 8.
I've
Lucky
Googled
8.
the picture. That's what it's saying.
Okay.
Now, just oh god, like
sports fans are gonna be like looking at Google and like, I gotta find this picture.
Yeah, well, that's.
You don't need the picture. You'll see the artwork and you'll bid on it in the auction, and 100% of those proceeds are going to Bikes for Breakfast.
So
Bikes for breakfast.
just so my listeners haven't lost faith in me. I'm going to go back to this as you just gave me an absolute time. It wasn't that I don't realize the Oilers won 5 bloody cups, right? Like, and yes, I know it wasn't the early 80s because the Islanders won back to back. All right? You're killing me
I'm
here.
like, I have no idea.
It's because they won in 84, 85, 87, 88, and then 90, right?
What
so
happened
it's like,
at the year in between there?
well, they didn't win. Like,
Who won?
now you're asking me another question. That,
I'm just curious.
oh, yeah, great. Who's the sports son of a, I don't know. Got me all rattled now, and I'll be on the drive home, and I'll be like, why didn't
People
I
are
say?
going to bug you.
Guaranteed they are. I'm going to get a call from Carly, and he's going to be like, I thought you were an Oilers fan, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting
This is
grilled
all
by
we
my wife.
talk about.
eh?
This is all I think about all the time.
Anyways, it's
Yeah.
a painting. Gretzky, Messier, proceeds going to this. So I'm
Yeah, 100%.
I'm super
but
pumped
if
to
you
have you
don't
part
have
of
the
it.
big dollars, if you're not rolling in the dough, we're going to have another option. So if you can't, like, because have a feeling that because it's an original piece of art, and just for all of you who are more sports fans than art fans, or even if you're a bit of both, if you have an original artwork and this is the artist right here who works their ass off every day, you pay this much for the painting, it's an investment, and the value of your painting, if you have the original, grows all
up.
the time.
Yeah.
I have a 6 by 4 foot painting my auntie and uncle bought for me for $250. It's worth $7,800 today. So that's like 10 years ago. So if we're going to talk investments and like percentages and shit like that, that's a sound investment. So I have this sneaking suspicion that the original bid probably won't stay very low. So those of you who like only have like $50 or whatever we're going to price it at, not sure yet, haven't done this. It's super last minute, but we're going to set it up so prints will be on the site, prints available, you order it, comes right to your mailbox, and a percentage of that will also go to the charity, but you'll also have your beautiful print of the amazing cup, glory cup hold with the hockey players.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the image is awesome. I think what you're doing
I'm
is
on
super
camera.
cool.
I can't like be like, fuck.
Well, I switched it over to me.
Okay.
Because I feel like your husband right now, where I'm like, she's telling this amazing story of how she's trying to help the charity,
I'm
and all I
thinking
can think of
hockey stick.
is who won the bloody cup in 1986. I'm like, come on, Sean, it's the year
That
you
was
were
the
born.
year we were born.
That's
yeah.
right. So, the Islanders won 4 in a row. I was saying they won the first 3 years of the 80s, which, because I forgot, it's 79-80. So they won 80 to 80, 83, then 84, 85. Edmonton Oilers. For you hockey fans that were going, who won in 86? Maybe you already Googled it. The Montreal Canadiens won it in 86. The Oilers win the next
Ooh.
2 years. The Flames, then the Oilers. That is a decade, let me tell you. That's
Wow.
back when the Canadian teams are bringing the cup this way.
It'll
there you go.
happen again.
There you go.
It'll happen again.
You think the Oilers got it? What do you think, Brandi? What in your hockey sense tells you the Oilers haven't?
I'm actually a kind of a bad luck charm. Can't sit and watch the games.
Okay, then let's not
Let's
bring.
not talk about it.
That's right.
Like if I show up in my Oiler jersey and ready to go, it's like they lost. Although it's been since we've been together, I have to say they've had a bit of a bad run. Maybe I'm a bad luck charm. Yeah, I don't watch them because every time I go or watch, it's like I've got like a 99% loss rate.
No
with
worries,
that.
Oiler fans. We're gonna make sure Brandi stays
Not
away from
there.
the teacher.
I'll
the
go
TV.
paint. I'll go paint to my art studio. That's where I'm best suited to like not be like rooting on the Oilers, and I'm fine with it. Our basement is split into 2 spaces, hockey, and actually now it's our garage. But I got a whole art studio built into our home. It's awesome, and everyone wins.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into the Crude Master Final Five. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 quick questions, long or short as you want to go.
bad at this.
Shout out to Heath and Trace McDonald, supporters of the podcast since the very beginning. All right, here you go. Here's your first one. Who would you sit down and pick their brain if you could, pull out some wisdom and sage advice?
No, easy. That would be my mom. I just want to catch up. Tell her what happened. Like, you wouldn't believe what's going on today. Because she passed away I was 6 months pregnant with my first, so she didn't get to see or experience the grandbaby. So, yeah, it'd be cool to catch her up on that.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Really. Right? So, yeah, I'd like to do that. But we all know that's not real. But yeah, I actually don't even when you say that, like, I can't even think of a person that I'd want to pick their brain. I feel like if I really wanted to talk to a person, like you, I'll just like email them and ask them, like, seriously, right? Like, be like, hey, but we also have platforms where like we have a purpose. We're like not like creepy, and we're like, hey, you want to chat? Like, you can like use your platform as your excuse to talk to your idols.
That's fair.
Yeah.
When lockdowns end and you can go anywhere, where are you going to go?
Ah, jeez. I'm so stuck right now because I have kids, so like I'm not sad about not traveling at the moment, because you always think it's a good idea to take your kids on a trip, and then you're on the trip and it's midnight and you're in a hotel room or camper, wherever you are, and you're like, we're packing it up and we're going home. My brother was just telling me last night, he's like, yeah, my friends set up their tent trailer and he forgot to, and it was their first baby, and the baby was like 15 weeks old, and they decided to go camping and he forgot to put the things on the tent trailer, and the whole thing collapsed while the baby like fell. And he's like, yeah, they packed it up and went home at like 3 a.m. But like, yeah, like I'm not sad because I am not tempted. I don't have that temptation of going anywhere, because it is the worst to travel with a 1-year-old. And Mel and I were talking, your wife, and she's like, I could not take a plane ride right now with Casey, like, because they don't sit down. So you're awkwardly like walking up and down the plane aisle. So sorry, like.
No,
and people
Shay got stuck under a plane seat.
Yeah.
When he was Casey's age, and you're like, oh my God, everybody's staring at me. Some people are really awesome. Some people not so much.
Some people really suck like a fuckload, and you're like, come on, this is not fun for me either. Like,
yeah, because I love him being stuck under the seat. That's like, what I wanted. Yeah. When I drew this plane up,
I
was like, you know what? I just want my child to get stuck under the seat and yell and scream as much as possible, because that'll be fun for me. I'm having lots of fun. Can't you see it on my face?
We have to see our family. We had to ride in this plane. Like, rock and hard place. But yeah, so not sad. Where would I go? I like seeing new places, but I like places that take me to new sites. Like, I really like going on adventures where you can at the same time get that like high of hiking up somewhere, but not like extreme. Like, I've been stuck on a snowy blizzard mountain once, survived, but I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So the next year we went and it was sunny. I was like, oh, this was what it was supposed to be. Not like I was going to fall off the snowy cliff. Okay. Great.
Where was that?
Mount Bourgeot in Banff. I was on a cross-country running team in college that my auntie convinced me would be fun to join a team. I liked volleyball. She said cross-country running. My mom's like, you're in there for art, not for sports. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not allowed to. The volleyball team saw me like run past for the tryout with my running team. They're like, oh, I was wearing my old volleyball shirt. They're like, you're here for it. I'm like, no, bye. Because my mom knew, right? She's like, you're like a mid-level athlete, so let's focus on the art. You're at an art college, not for you don't have a volleyball scholarship. I ended up getting I got money for being on the cross-country running team, but it taught me to connect with nature and something I didn't know I loved. So that was cool. Like, again, I usually, by not overthinking things, stumble into the most beautiful situations of all time. Not the mountain thing, but the next year was fun. What were we talking about? Where could I go on a trip if I like places where you can move your body, because I know if I don't move my body first thing in the morning, I'm a total asshole all day. So I like run, bike, do all, like, I gotta move for at least 30, 40 minutes. So I'm a better, nicer human. Then you get to go dine on fabulous food. That doesn't have to be at a fancy restaurant. That just has to be, that could be anywhere as long as it's delicious. That could be like a shawarma. There's in Montreal, there's this like hole in the ground place that had the best shawarma. Like, it's just like places with yummy food. I'll go anywhere.
So you're saying yummy food and a place you can move. That's pretty much the world.
So you can find that.
All right.
Yeah, and then take people you love on that same adventure. Right now, I just take a cabin, not a hotel room. If I'm going somewhere, it's going to have like a beach and a home where no one else can hear you because I got 3 boys. Because I've stayed in a hotel with them and it's a bad experience. You're not happy because they're making noise and you feel bad. And then the people next to you are not happy because you're making the noise at 6 a.m. They're like, you know your kids are up at 6 a.m.? I was like, I know. Like, the plane. I know. I don't want to be here either. Like, come on. Cut me some fucking slack. Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Here, let's do this. What's your favorite? What's a book you're reading right now that you're like, oh, this is a good book?
Yeah, cool. I'm reading 3 books. I'm reading my fall asleep book, fantasy. Not like, guys, mind out of the gutter. I like fantasy, like with Fae Warriors or like Harry Potter, or you're a Lord of the Rings fan, like fantasy. Okay. Not like, X-rated. Whatever you're into, go for it. I'm not reading that book right now, but that's my fall asleep book. Because that's just like pure pleasure. God, pleasure, enjoyment in the way that I enjoy reading it. I'm also reading.
I'm laughing at you because you think you have.
I dig myself in a hole.
I don't know.
A conversational hole.
I don't think you.
Do you even need to be here?
Did
doing it myself.
Did the book, by saying you like fantasy,
took my own mind to the own gutter, but
right.
then I said so many things after that were bad. Okay.
So what books are you reading?
Okay, and then the orange book with the cover that says fuck on it, but not fuck. Don't, like, giving less of a fuck. What's the book
How to
called?
Not Give a Fuck?
No. Something like that. It's close to that.
I've read that book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I only read like the first 10 pages yesterday on the step, but I was like, yeah, giving less fucks. That makes sense for making my day more livable and acceptable to
Fair.
poor dad right now. It's 5:30. He's having a shitty time, Sean.
What's the third one? Well, I'm trying to speed.
No,
I'm trying to do the fact.
No, I'm so. This is the end of the conversation. We could go a long time. Okay.
I'm trying to throw you softballs, Brandi.
Is How to Be a Badass, because I just read How to Be a Badass at Making Money and I like them. Yeah, no.
I'm trying to give you softballs.
Get off.
And no, I just laughing because you're like, you're worried about getting home and back to the kids, and you're like, no, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, no, I like being away from them at the same time, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I like inspirational books, but I also like fantasy.
She likes fantasy, guys. You heard it here first, all right? Now, what
who doesn't?
What would be your Mother's Day meal if Carly cooked? Like if you came home, Carly doesn't cook?
No.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
No. He cooks 0. Okay, like the occasional
barbecue?
Once a year eggs. Nope.
Come on, Carl. You don't cook barbecue?
Nope. Okay, so the other night you were there and he flipped the burgers. That's
cooking.
No. I put them on there, and I unwrapped the and here's his. He always says, "Well, you're so good at it," and it's like, yeah, okay, I am. I am super good at it, and yes, I get annoyed when people stir something. Like we made waffles, and I told him to put the waffles in the waffle maker. And for you gluten-freers, or even not even gluten-free, if you overstir your cake or waffle mix, and this is how particular I am about cooking, because I believe every bite should be the best fucking bite or why are you eating it? If you overstir cake or muffin mix, if it's like homemade, like it gets gummy and gooey, and then you got like a rock hard waffle. You want it to be but light, airy, and crispy, and when you, yeah.
But
He overstirred it, and then he was stirring
Yeah, but
it.
see
I was
the
like, just scoop it in, keep the bubbles.
You see what you've done though.
Oh,
Is now he does
created a
now
monster.
he's like, well, I'm not gonna do that if you right. Would you rather have a less bubbly muffin, but you don't have to do all the
He
work?
ruined after I spent half an hour making the gluten-free homemade waffle mix, like from scratch with all the stuff and flavors and spices and things I do special. No. So, no, I'm a control freak when it comes. No, I get it. He's right. He's right. Okay, Carly, did you hear it? I said you were right. But he
Carly's
does other
listening
things.
to this part going, when did it become the Carly roast fest, right?
No. But he does things for me.
So what would you want for Mother's Day? That's all I'm
He
asking.
unplugged the toilet for me the other day. That was super kind. So he does things like
Do you want
it's a
meals?
balance.
Do you want presents?
For
Do you want
Mother's Day.
diamonds? Do you want anything? I just want him to unclog the toilet. That's what I want.
No, I don't want a meal. Like he can go let me sleep in. I'd like to sleep in like half an hour. That'd be cool. Till 8. I'd like to sleep in till 8 a.m. Or 7:38, something like that. Like I'm being realistic. And you can either go get me a breakfast sandwich or you can make the eggs. And yeah, just like a nature walk in the park with the kids. Oh, and like chocolate or something. He bought me a book. I found it in his car. He's super pissed. My sister bought me the same audiobook. He's like, why didn't she tell me? I was like, what do you mean? Why didn't she tell you she bought me an audiobook as a beautiful gift? Because it's an amazing, like, fuck. Why didn't she tell me? I'm like, and also you didn't hide it. It was in your car in the back seat. Like, but he's like, that was my gift. Okay, whatever.
Final one. You gotta
get home for supper here.
You gotta pick a sport that you have to sit down and watch. Now,
People are gonna not like me after this.
Why?
Because
you gotta watch one game, one period, one inning. One
inning.
One quarter. Football.
Let's see. Okay.
You make it a short duration, but what
The thing
sport
about
could you
sports
actually
is
focus on?
because I'm a mid-level athlete. Like I always, on the cross-country running, I fell. If there were 60 people, I fell at 30. So that's pretty good. I made it through the race. I was in the middle. Pretty good.
I like that.
In the middle. Dead on every time. Honestly, I was always in the middle. I'm a middle child. Fall in the middle every time.
Okay, so you got to pick one sport. You
I
got to
like
watch.
playing sports. I don't like watching them. I liked when we went to the States, we went to a basketball game or like maybe football, live sport event.
Okay, you get to pick a live.
Especially in the States because like, I mean, people at a Riders game here are like fucking insane. I don't even know if I'd want to be there.
And
That's
awesome,
like
insane.
Like too much. Too much for me. Only because last time I went to an Oiler game, I got a fight with the old man in the stands and
what? Over what?
He was being mean to Carly. He was like, they were, long story, Sean, but like I ended up getting in a fight with a guy, and I'm a nice person.
A nice person. You're getting in fights at the Oiler games.
Like not a physical one.
A
but
verbal
like
one.
A verbal argument. He was making fun of my husband. I was like, excuse me, old man. Why don't you just sit back down? I avoid confrontation. So
you know how many Oiler games I've been to and I've never gotten a verbal confrontation with people? Brandi Hofer goes to X amount of Oiler games, and she's getting into it with the fans.
Yeah.
I love it. We might have to take you to another game just to see what happens.
No, I told Carly I'll never go to one again unless we're in a box. And so we've just been, because he has suppliers and stuff, and they let you in their fan box, and they have food and, you know.
Keeps you away from
But again, every time I fucking go, the Oilers lose, so everyone's sad, and it's not fun.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, for about 10 years, every time anyone went to an Oilers game, we all lost. So
yeah. That's what I mean. Also, could it just be timing? Like, it's not me, it's them. Right?
Well, the hour and a half has flown by, so I appreciate you coming in and doing this, and looking forward to seeing the painting when it's done.
Yeah. It looks so good already. I've got good feeling. A good feeling? Many.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming in, Brandi.
Thanks, Sean. It was fun. Always.
Hey, folks. Thanks for joining us today. If you just stumbled on the show, please click subscribe. Then scroll to the bottom and rate and leave a review. I promise it helps. Remember, every Monday and Wednesday, we will have a new guest sitting down to share their story. The Sean Newman Podcast is available for free on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you get your podcast fix. Until next time.